Hello and welcome to another macro video. Today I'm looking about multiple macros, how you can run them, and the general topic really is how to do so more efficiently. We're going to be looking at three macros, and one is a relatively new one which goes with the starter pack but can be used for anything. That's the macro menu. Second one is a brand new one, MegaLies, and the third one is Fredit, which we know of old. I just thought I'd mention that at the end. So we start with macro menu, and the idea there is that you run macros from a list, and as I said, it's set up for the starter pack for those people who don't particularly like running from keystrokes, and so you can run the macro. It gives you a list of the different macros that you can run, and you can click either 1, say, for MegaLies, or 4 for proper analyses, or you can do it by the letters. So if you want the spelling error lister, then that would be L, and you just run them from there, and that's all there is to it on that. However, if I just break into that and debug, here's the macro. Let's stop it running. At the beginning of the macro there, you've got a list of the different macros, and that's obviously editable. You can use this macro and change those names and use it to run different macros, and that's up to you if you'd like to do that. Okay, now then, MegaLies. Now this is a bit more exciting. What happened here was that when I do a job, I start by analysing in various ways, and I load up, I create a single file using multi-file text to a single file of all the chapters, but then I will run MegaLies and see the results of that. Then I'll run -lies, and I'll go through each of them and run them separately. And I thought the other day, well, why am I doing them all separately? Couldn't I just run them all at once, at one go? And so I thought, well, yeah, that's possible. It's not too difficult, and so I've written a macro that does that. So rather than doing one at a time, we're going to run the whole lot automatically. Obviously, if it's going to take a long time, then we can just set it running and go off and make the supper or go and walk the dog or whatever. Okay, so when you run the MegaLies macro to run all these different macros, then it's worth opening VBA window as we had it before, and we'll look at the macro, which is down the bottom here, and it starts here with a list of all the macros. So that's this list here. Actually, I've got it on here, it's a bit bigger, you'll be able to see it more easily. There we go. So it says MegaLies and lists them there. So if you don't want all those, you can just have a subset of those, or if you've got different ones that you want to use at different times, so you can put those there. And if I pull that down to the bottom, then that is the one that will be acted on, that list of 2. Let's move that out of the way because it would be nice to actually run all of them. Okay, so we want a file to work on. For obvious reasons, I've got a very small file, so you're not sitting here all day waiting for it to happen. Now, when we run it, it's useful to be able to see what's going on, and therefore it's worth opening the immediate mode window down the bottom here, and that will give us a record of what's going on. But we don't want the window obscuring the VBA window obscuring the working window of the file that's being analysed, because we want to have it, well, I mean, you may want to be able to see some of the things that are going on the status bar, which are showing the progress of the different analyses that are going on. Okay, so if I run MegaLies, then it will look at that first line of the program and show me that those are the macros that it will run if I say yes. Okay, so are we ready to go? I think we are, yes. So we say yes and see what happens. Okay, so down the bottom, down here, it's telling us what is running. The MegaLies is running. I was started at 3 minutes past 5, and then -lies at 13, -lies at 14 minutes past. And if you look on the status bar, you can sometimes see the progress as it's showing there. So we've now got spelling error lister running. It's done that one. Now it's running capitalize, checking the initial capitals as opposed to no initial capitals. And then it ran word parallelize, and there's the final answer. That's your final answer. So there's a set of files there underneath. So we've got the word pair inconsistencies. There's just one there. Then we've got the capitalization, then we've got the spelling errors, we've got the full name list, we've got the proper nouns, we've got the hyphenation, we've got the, let's move that a bit further, we've got the MegaLies, and underneath you've got a copy of the what was in the immediate mode window. I thought that might be quite useful, because if you can't remember what time you started, you can go and have a look at this and see how long it actually took. It took a whole minute, whereas obviously with a, I mean that's only a, well, it's a 2,000 word file. So with a realistic file of 50, 60, 100,000 words, whatever, then the times will be interesting, so you can see how long each one took. If you want to use MegaLies, then you will need the latest versions of all these macros, because I have to put a kind of hook into each of those macros so that MegaLies knows what's going on, because apart from anything else, if you think about it, some of these macros have prompts that they will put up on the screen, and you don't want any prompts on the screen to say, do you really want to run this this macro? You want it to run straight through. So if you want to run it, download the book and get all the latest versions of those macros. And the other thing to say about this MegaLies is that if there are other analyses that you want to run from MegaLies, then if you let me know, then I can produce, I can add the extra little hooks into the macro that you're interested in running, and say, I don't know, catchphrase or any of the other analysis type macros. I can put the hook in, and then you'll be able to run it as one of the macros that MegaLies runs. Okay, so that's MegaLies. Don't think we need that anymore. Right, so the other thing to say is that if you're using Fredit, you can run multiple macros. So I've got an example of that. So here we go. So this is a Fredit list from a job, and having set up that I want there are some text boxes in this job, and I do want track changes on. Then at the beginning of the macro, at the beginning of the Fredit list, I run a set of macros, things to do with equations and unlinking the files and setting the language and so on. So each of these is a line which will run these macros, and the line through means don't track that change, the changes that take place when that macro runs. And if we go to the end of the file, after all the various find and replaces, then there are other macros that I want to run at the end, and so that's just another way of running macros and not forgetting to run each of them on the given chapter that you're working on. So that's it, various ways to run macros. If you've got any queries, then drop me an email and I'll see what I can do. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.